I came home one night, found this monster hiding in my closet. I never imagined anything this horrific would happen to me. This monster raped me and held a knife to my throat the whole time and told me if I made a sound, he would kill me.
Good morning, Mr. McNeil.
Good morning.
Would you introduce yourself, sir? Tell us your name and DOC number.
John McNeil, 106533.
Mr. McNeil. Let's see, I need to tell you about some folks who have joined us today to speak about your case. We have the district attorney from Sabine Parish, Mr. Don Burkett, on Zoom. You should be able to see him on your screen, along with Stephanie Stevens, the victim assistance coordinator there. Here with us in Baton Rouge, we have wishing to speak Pam Dillard, Ginger Dumite, and Dwayne, I'm sorry, how you pronounce it? Dwana Singletary, and also Mr. Singletary, Kerry Singletary. And we'll call on them to speak to us in just a few moments. First, Mr. McNeil, I'm going to read some identifying information into the record, and then we'll have a conversation with you first. So, Mr. McNeil, you're seeking a commutation of your sentence. You were sentenced in the 11th Judicial District at Sabine Parish in June 1984. You received a life sentence for an aggravated rape conviction. Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. McNeil, why don't you tell us why you've submitted an application to have your sentence commuted, and why do you think you should be granted that request?
Because I'm not that person that I was all them years ago when I came here. And, I always tried to, by me being incarcerated and that goal, I always tried to follow the guidelines and live by the rules and regulations of the prison. And just do the right thing. And I'm a better person right now than I was when I first came in here.
Good. All right. Thank you, sir. Warden Oliver, what can you tell us about Mr. McNeil?
Mr. McNeil served approximately 41 years. He's a Class A trustee. He lives at Camp D, where he works as a janitor and cleaner. I can tell you he was one of the first inmates that I met when I came here almost 23 years ago, so he's been in the same area since then. He's had a total of 32 disciplinary write-ups, the last report being in 2011. He has completed substance abuse, anger management, victim awareness, and letter training. He does have a written letter in his file to the victim. Thinking for a change, sex offender treatment, and his Tiger score is low. He also does have a history of prostate cancer that has, it's treatable. It's been treated. He just goes regularly to the provider for follow-ups.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. McNeil, we'd like to hear first from the people that want to speak, and we don't see anybody speaking in support today of your application. So we'll start off with Mr. Don Burkett from the DA's office in Sabine Parish. Mr. Burkett, we'd like to hear from you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Ms. Renata, other members of the board. I don't know if you're aware of all the circumstances of this case, but the defendant McNeil was convicted of the instant case in 1983, the year before I was elected district attorney. Prior to that, though, about 9 months prior to the instant case, in the same apartment complex, there was another aggravated rape. And a man by the name of Ricky Johnson was convicted of that offense. And Ricky served 26 years. And I was approached by the Innocence Project and asked, we've
lost our audio. We've lost the audio.
You lost me now?
Yeah, we got you now. I'm sorry. Yeah, for a quick time, we did lose you. After you were approached by the Innocence Project is the last we heard. Right.
I agreed to have DNA testing done on a guy by the name of Ricky Johnson, who had been serving a life sentence since 1982 for a rape 9 months prior in the same apartment complex. That DNA testing revealed, number one,
we lost it again.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. So the DNA test results, that's what
Yeah,
guys,
it showed that the defendant Ricky Johnson's DNA was excluded as being found in the victim. And when that was submitted into this database, it also revealed that it was the DNA of this defendant, John McNeil. So we brought Ricky Johnson back to Sabine Parish. And I looked at both files. One of the problems was that the Manny PD had investigated one rape. The Sabine Parish Sheriff's Office had investigated the other. But when you laid the files out and saw how things went, now there was a gun used in the first one and a knife in this one, but still, when you looked at how it went out and all, you could tell the pattern of this crime. And so we released Ricky Johnson. And this is another thing. Ricky Johnson told me he was in the exercise yard with McNeil. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you hearing me now? Okay. Hello?
yes.
We got you.
Okay, I'm sorry. He was in the exercise yard with McNeil every day. And Johnson's doing a life sentence for a rape that this inmate McNeil committed. And McNeil's sitting there knowing, and he, he could care less. And so I don't know if you're going to ask him about the other rape, whether you're going to admit to the other rape. I didn't follow through and prosecute him on that one at that time, but there was some witness issues and things involved. But and undoubtedly, he's committed not one but two aggravated rapes. And he allowed an innocent man to serve, I think it was 26 years of his life in Angola for something he didn't do. And the facts of the case, and I will let the victim and her family speak to those, but they were horrific, what went on. And so I'm opposed to his, any commutation of his sentence in the strongest of terms. And I'd be happy to answer any questions any of you have.
Okay, we'll reserve. I don't see any questions at this time, but we may have some shortly. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, sir. Could we hear now from the victim's family? And I'll let you all decide how you want to go. Who wants to go first? So as you speak, just introduce yourself individually. Thank you.
I don't consider myself a victim. I'm a survivor. I came from home one night, found this monster hiding in my closet. I never imagined anything this horrific would happen to me. This monster raped me and held a knife to my throat the whole time and told me if I made a sound, he would kill me. What this monster did to me left an emotional and physical pain that I still suffer with today. This horrific act traumatizes you. You live with it for the rest of your life. It was years before I could even trust anybody, years before I could even stay alone by myself in my own home, and years before I could even turn the lights out to sleep. When I heard this monster was applying for a pardon, it hit me so hard. All of the fear, the worry came rushing back. I had panic attacks. I have severe anxiety, which I had to get medication for. I don't sleep. I have a fear that if this monster is released, he will find me and carry out his threat to kill me, as he told me over and over, no matter how long it took, he would kill me and my precious family. I will have no peace, or I will never feel safe again. I pray to God and I beg you to keep this monster out of my life and out of my family's life and keep him in prison where he belongs. Thank you.
My name is Ginger, and I'm Laura's youngest sister. And we want to thank you for the chance to speak to you directly, because this crime was a tragic event that changed our sister's life forever. The pain, the fear, and the lasting trauma are things that she lives with every single day. And we want you to understand that this has done to her and to our family. Not just through words on paper, that our letters that we submitted for you to review today. But we wanted you to hear from us, her sisters, the two of us who were in the aftermath, who love her deeply and have stood by her side. through all of this. So we heard the person that we refer to as a monster because we do think that he's evil. But what we heard him say earlier was that he's not the person that he was, that he's now following guidelines and he's living by the rules. But we feel that a productive member of society doesn't rape someone. A productive member of society doesn't watch another man take the blame for a crime that he committed. You don't get to take those actions and then call yourself rehabilitated because you followed the rules or because you're presenting yourself in a different light to us here today. After he committed the horrific crime that he did to our sister, he ran from the law enforcement and he hid in the woods, sparking a 7-day manhunt. I cannot put into words the fear that our sister and that our family endured for a week while they were on a manhunt for him. And all because he chose to run rather than face the fact that what he had done, him being a coward, in there, as Mr. Burkett said, he allowed an innocent man to serve 26 years in prison for the crime that he committed. He raped another woman 9 months before he raped our sister. He also had a reported escape attempt at the courthouse in Sabine Parish during the trial. He simply walked out of the courtroom and it is reported as an escape. So him attending classes or volunteering, that doesn't change what happened to our sister and what she's had to live with. That's moments that show someone's character, and volunteering later in a place prison doesn't say to us that he was informed. He was hiding in her apartment, in her bedroom, in her closet. When she arrived into the apartment, it was dark, and when she saw him, she tried to run from him, and he attacked her, and he brutally raped our sister. And he held a butcher knife to her throat the entire time. And not only that, but he threatened if she ever said a word that he would kill her and he would kill us, and he would kill her family. Releasing him would tell our sister that her pain doesn't matter and that her safety is negotiable, and that the man who raped her and terrorized her has more right to freedom than she does to peace. A 12-member jury heard the evidence, and the sentence that they handed down was not handed down lightly. It was justice, it was accountability, and it should stand. It's the reason that all 3 of us girls sleep with a loaded pistol beside our bed every night. He is the reason that we check the locks on our doors every night, 3 to 4 times before we go to sleep in our own homes. Please deny parole and keep him where he belongs. I urge you to consider that he doesn't deserve a second chance. Our sister didn't get a second chance. He doesn't deserve one either. Please don't let our beautiful sister, who has endured so much, suffer again because of a system that lets a 2-time rapist walk free.
My name is Pam, and I'm the older sister. First, I want to thank you for giving us a chance to speak. This didn't just change my sister's life, it took so much from her, and I watched her live with fear and pain that no one should have to ever endure. As an older sister, I've seen the toll it's taken on her day after day, and it breaks my heart. The fear and the trauma and the weight of what it's done to her is something she never deserved. What my sister was forced to endure, and because of the tears and anguish, the rape that brought upon our mother, when this horrific crime happened, it broke her heart in a way no words can truly explain. As a mother, watching her child suffer was unbearable. She was filled with sorrow, fear, and helplessness that no parent should ever have to feel. This trauma didn't just affect one person, it changed all of us. And while our mother couldn't be here physically today, we speak with her full support and strength that she raised us to have. She stands with us in the request to please deny parole. Still today, when we come home, now we check all of our closets. And just recently, I was with my sister when she received a phone call from the victim's advocate to make her aware that this rapist is applying for clemency. I was there with her, and I saw firsthand what the PTSD that she suffered with done to her. As a sister, I'm begging you, please deny this request with parole. The thought of him being released fills us all with fear. My sister is still trying to rebuild her life and live with what was done to her. The idea that he could walk away is terrifying, and none of us, especially her, will ever feel safe if he's given this chance. This is a life sentence for my sister, and it should continue to be a life sentence for him. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here today. Mr. McNeil, your case was assigned to Mr. Freeman. Would you answer his questions?
Okay, Mr. McNeil, I'm gonna ask a question everybody wants to know. Do you admit to the first rape? 9
Yes,
months
sir.
prior to this?
Yes, sir. You said the one that I'm here for Miss Blackwell?
Right, and the one that happened prior to that Mr. Johnson was serving time for?
No, sir.
Okay, so you saying you didn't commit that?
No, sir. They were saying that when the detectives came and seen me, they were saying that you not being charged with nothing. They want to know why my deal. They were found out at the scene at that time. But I'm saying, but I think the victim that he was referring to on that got on national TV and said that I was not the one did that to her. Like she said, she know who did that. And she said I was not the one did that. They said they was found at the scene.
Let's back to the original charge then. Okay, you wasn't convicted of that one. Okay, what did you learn in sex offender treatment?
I learned that it's that you can't, you got to know the signs that when you certain signs that you get not to violate, and it got certain signs that it teaches you in sex offender, not the real offend and stuff like that.
Okay. I see that in 1984 you were arrested for a first degree murder. They didn't prosecute you on it, but what was that about?
First degree murder?
But it says on 5 New Orleans District Attorney's Office, it's 1984, they charge you with first degree murder.
No, sir, that's incorrect.
Okay. Okay. All right, yeah, it's a very, very heinous offense. I have no further questions.
Any other questions? All right, I don't see any other questions, Mr. McNeil, so we'll begin the vote with Mr. Freeman.
First off, I want to thank everybody that here spoke today. I know it was very traumatic. My vote today is to deny heinous nature offense, and I feel it is a serial rape.
Mr. Tillis,
I concur with Mr. Freeman.
is it Stapleton?
I concur with Mr. Freeman and of course victim opposition, law enforcement opposition.
Yes.
Mr. Prater,
I concur also. It's a horrible crime and to be waiting in a closet. I can't imagine. That would be a terrible thing. And on behalf of all the kids that worry about the boogeyman being in the closet, I think somebody like this needs to stay in jail. And so my motion is done.
So, Mr. McNeil, you received 4 votes to deny your application today, so your application for clemency has been denied.
Yes, ma'am.